warm welcome from everyone here at the Slovakia Ring and to everyone at home watching us from all over the world. We are here at the 5.9-kilometer racetrack near Orechova Poton, and we are ready to go for the final race of the ESETCup. It's race 2 here at the Slovakia Ring for the third round of the season. And what better way for the home fans, for the Slovakian fans, to start this race than with a father and son Slovakian duo on the front row of the grid. In pole position, we have the Ligier LMP3 car, the only prototype to be here ready to race in the ESETCup, of Miro Konopka, the father of course, Adam, starting in second place with his Lamborghini Huracan GT3 car. It's ARC Bratislava then locking out the front row. They did an amazing job yesterday in race 1. Miro winning the race and Adam winning everything in the GT3 category, finishing in third place overall. And they are looking to get the first 1-2 of the season as a father and son duo. It will be an amazing feat for them. Let's see if any other driver have anything to say about it, because the main rival will be, of course, the BMW M4 GT3 on my left-hand side, actually behind me. It's Antal Gigo driving for them, as Trevor Racing are definitely looking to fight for the GT3 win today. GT3 is, of course, being one of the most popular categories in motorsport right now, and it's great to see them in the ESETCup as well. In fourth position, we have Alex Tlusty with a lovely Praga R1. It's a beautiful prototype that is rarely seen in Europe, so it's incredible to see it here in the ESETCup. Of course, a series that gives us plenty of different categories, a lot of actions in only 25 minutes of racing. It's going to be very interesting to see who will come out on top. Watch out, of course, for all the other drivers. We have Porsche Cup cars, we have a Lamborghini Super Trofeo, we have even the KTM GTX cars, with Tomasz Miniberger starting in 5th position as the leader of the category. It's going to be very interesting to see who is going to come out on top. Today it's definitely a bit cooler than yesterday. We were almost at 30 degrees on Saturday. Today only 25, 26 degrees out there, still very hot. We had a couple of drops of rain earlier in the morning, but of course no rain right now, as we only have 3 minutes now and we're getting ready for the race. See you very soon in the commentary booth as we're ready to start for another round of the ESETCup.
We are opening the 2023 season here in Germany. First of the 6 calendar events that are ready for us this year.
Oh, there's contact between Joachim Galage and Libor Milotan.
There is the race leader, Filip Salaguarda. They are now going to be side by side across the line, but Galage is prevailing. Joachim Galage scores another victory. teammate. There's a slight touch in the first corner. What a move that was. And he's third, and there's a contact. Luckily, everybody else has managed to avoid that car. This is going to be a photo finish between the two Lambos. Who's first? It must be Denis Vashek. Unbelievable! This is a big, big crash, massive crash.
And here we are, ready to witness the final race of the ESETCup from this weekend. It's round 3 of the season at the Slovakia Ring. You can see the beautiful track layout from our drone flying over the track as we speak, with the drivers now approaching turns 10, 11 and 12 during the formation lap. And it's Miro Konopka in his Ligier LMP3 car who is ready to start from pole, as we were talking about on the pre-grid and the grid walk. It's a father and son duo on top of the standings. Father Miro and son Adam in first and second position. Of course, the Ligier having an advantage over the other cars, which is why Konopka was able to take pole with a 3-second advantage over second position. So the win is likely to be out of question for the other drivers, but of course anything can happen in motor racing. And of course Konopka racing in a different class compared to the GT3s, the Ligier being part of the D5 category that has been allowed to race with the other cars of ESETCup. As a safety car now pulls into the pits, we're ready to go with a rolling start that will see Miro Konopka start on pole ahead of his son Adam in a Lamborghini Huracan GT3, and Antal Gigo start in third position. We're off and we go racing one more time in the ESETCup here at the Slovakia Ring. It's actually a fantastic start from Adam Konopka. The Ligier is struggling slightly on the traction, especially with cold tires, as Adam takes the lead from his father Miro. But of course this is likely not going to be the case at the end of the race, maybe even at the end of lap 1. But as things stand, it's Adam Konopka leading the way ahead of Miro Konopka. And then in third is Denis Vashek with his Lamborghini Super Trofeo, the number 100 car in the bright red and white livery, as it's now being attacked from the BMW of Antal Gigo, the brand new M4 belonging to Trevor Racing, now up into third. And now rushing towards turn number 6 as Miro Konopka is making a move over his son Adam. And here we go as the Ligier from Arc Bratislava overtakes the sister car. The Lamborghini slots into second, of course not wanting to make it difficult for the faster Ligier. The team, of course, still holding a 1-2 for now, winning in both the LMP3 and the GT3 categories. Prototypes being bunched together in the D5 class, which sees the Ligier and the Praga R1, which has struggled a bit at the start. It's now down into 7th position, and now attacked by one of the KTM GTX cars towards the second to last corner of lap 1. As we go towards lap number 2, and it's Miro Konopka leading the way just in front of his son Adam, who is then ahead of Antal Gigot in 3rd place. As we can see here, the Ligier of Miro Konopka slowly but surely building a gap over its rivals. Meanwhile, behind him, the fight in the GTX category has kicked off with Kukola currently in the lead. 5th position for him, just ahead of Thomas Miniberger, who started on pole in the GTX class but dropped a couple of places at the start. Then it's a long way back until we see another of the GTX class cars, and it's Team Gabor in the Lotus Exige V6 Cup. Of course, a much slower car than the KTM, which has been capable of rivaling actually the GT3s, with RTR Projects finishing in 2nd place overall in race 1, thanks to a phenomenal job by their drivers. As we now follow Miro Konopka up the hill towards turn number 13. And Adam right behind him with a bit of a gap over Antal Gigot, yesterday's winner in the endurance format, together with none other than Max Hesse, the German factory BMW driver, only 23 years of age this year, but already a phenomenal talent in the GT world. And he has shown just how quick he can be. In one of these cars, here you can see the lovely bird's eye view that sees the Praga in between 2 of the Porsche Cup cars, closely behind Peter Breca, and just ahead of yesterday's endurance winner Hubert Darmetko in the PTT racing car. Both Porsches being the new 992 model. The only 991 present is Bob Bau, who is currently down in 15th position. As here the Praga dives down the inside, you can just see how quick the Praga really is in the corners. It's a lovely prototype that, as we were talking about on the grid, is rarely present in Europe and in racing in general, but it's a car that is fantastic to learn the ways of prototype racing. It's relatively fast and not as complex to drive as maybe other prototypes such as the LMP3. Of course, not the most powerful, especially on the straights, being slower even compared to the Porsches, as top speed isn't Praga's most important quality, but of course the car coming alive in the twisty sections such as Sector 2 here at the Slovakia Ring. Definitely one of the most complete circuits around in Eastern Europe and Central Europe. It has long straights with the start-finish straight and back straight that comes right after turn 12 being the 2 longest ones. But of course, a series of sharp corners in the second sector, making it also the perfect testing track actually for drivers to learn a new car and perhaps start their journeys in the world of truck racing. As here you can see one of the GTX cars currently roaring towards turn 2. It is the RTR project car of Tomasz Miniberger with his teammate Reinhard yesterday. They were fighting for the win in the overall standings in the endurance race, but unfortunately Miniberger stalled in his pit box as he was trying to get back underway. The car winning the GTX class though in the first race of ESETCup in the sprint format, therefore being one of the favorites here in the GTX, and they are currently in the lead, having just overtaken the Orlen Yannick Motorsport KTM of Petar Kukola, who you could see right behind in the shot in his bright red and white livery. Truly one of the most beautiful cars out there today, but unfortunately not as quick as the RTR project machinery. And here we go with Miro Konopka in his ARC Bratislava prototype, which is of course short for Auto Racing Club Bratislava, the team having raced in many international series such as the 24-hour series by Creventic, the Blancpain endurance races, which has then become the GT World Challenge, and endurance racing such as the Asian Le Mans series, and of course the 24 hours of Le Mans. Here you can see the GT3 car of the Slovakian team, which has as their best result in Le Mans a 6th class position in the LMP2 category, with none other than Miro Konopka behind the wheel in both 2021 and 2022. Konopka being one of the staples of the ARC Bratislava International program, racing in the World Endurance Championship, fighting hard, especially in the LMP2 Pro-Am category, with the best finish of 4th in 2022. Whereas here you can see Trevor racing with the BMW M4. One of the most beautiful cars out there for sure in the GT3 category. A car that was introduced not long ago. Of course, the new model that comes right after the M6, which we saw in action yesterday in the endurance race. The M4 GT3 being the competition-ready version of the M4 road car. Of course, started racing at the end of 2021 and at the start of 2022. Whereas here you can see the lovely Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is definitely one of the most popular cars and classes in Europe so far. Super Trofeo Championships being held all over Europe and also overseas. Here we are with Denis Vajek, the Czech driver for GT2 Motorsport. Of course, the Super Trofeo car being very powerful, but with slightly less aerodynamic grip compared to the GT3s, much faster in the corners, but sometimes the Super Trofeo can be even quicker on the straights. Not much of a difference though between the two cars lap time wise, with Denis Vajek only being 3 seconds away from the Huracan GT3 best time in qualifying this morning. As here you can see the fight between Petr Breka and his main rival Hubert Dermetko. Dermetko being second for now. This is the fight for the lead of the GTC1 class, which is reserved to the Porsche Cup machinery. And with now 30 minutes and 30 seconds yet to go, the two Porsches fighting away for the class victory, which in the endurance race belonged to Darmetko. A story that we also saw in race 1, where he was able to beat Breka to the line once more. So it's 2-0 for Darmetko this weekend. And let's see if Petar Breka can do something about it and perhaps win the race here in Slovakia. Porsche Cup car, another very popular piece of machinery, especially in endurance racing so far this decade, being one of the most followed series as well all over Europe, which is why it's so nice to see that in the ESETCup this weekend and this season. As we now enter into the second half of the race, with Miro Konopka still in the lead and Adam Konopka, his son, keeping second place, and of course the lead of the GTX category. Antal Žigo in third position, with Denis Vajek in fourth, who is just 7 seconds away from the M4 of Žigo. Antal was the winner in the endurance race yesterday together with Max Hesse, and he showed the consistency needed to fight at that level. Whereas here you can see another fight with actually piece hanging loose from the rear bumper of one of the Porsche Cup cars, and is currently fighting against Team Gabor and his Lotus Exige V6. And it is Franz Lammer, the number 825 Kogelbauer Motorsport Porsche, who is currently in 12th position overall, 4th in the GTC1 standings, whereas Gabor finds himself in 4th in the GTX class. Now following the Porsche around throughout the lap, you can see just how difficult it is to manage such a car, of course with a bit of aerodynamical damage as well. The Cup car is definitely one of the hardest ones to drive. Talking with the drivers, not only this weekend but also in general, you just hear how oversteery it usually is and how tough it is to fight the car around, especially on the traction. But it's so rewarding when you get it right, that it makes it all worthwhile. So far, so good for Lammer, who yesterday was able to fight for the podium in the GTC1 class. He's currently 15 seconds or so behind Kolarik. Finds himself in third in the GTC1 class. Of course, Kolarik driving for Schenkir Motorsport, the Czech outfit, trying to finish on the podium once more this weekend, with now only 9 minutes and 26 seconds to go. And here you can see two of the Porsches, the two leading cars in the GTC1 category, with Breka just ahead of Darmetko, and behind them it's one of the GTX cars with Mraz trying to find a way through the number 26 car. A beautiful purple and orange KTM, very striking design as a car. You either love it or hate it, but drivers say that it's really good underneath them. So good to drive one of those cars, especially on a track like this one, where you can find all the grip in the world, especially in the fast sweeping right-hand corners of Sector 1. Whereas here you can see one of the prime examples of lapping cars with one of the GT4s getting out of the way. And this is definitely something that happens in multi-class racing, like in the ESETCup. Finding the right time to lap cars around you is critical to find some success. As now, with only 7 minutes and 47 seconds to go, the fight in the Porsche Cup class gets underway as Darmetko looks for a second consecutive win here in Bratislava. However, he is now being overtaken by Mraz, but that's not the guy he's worried about. He's looking to fight with Breka for the win in the GTC1 class. Letting Mraz through could be a strategical choice, since KTM would likely go on to overtake Breka as well. Perhaps Darmetko could take advantage of it to try and make a pass in the final 7 minutes and 2 seconds of this race. Here goes Mraz to the inside of Breka. The two of them are losing time to the Porsche of Darmetko, who now dives to the inside on Mraz into turn 8, getting the place back. Perhaps not confident in leaving the KTM in front because of situations like these. Look at just how closer he was under braking through turn 10. He looked to be a bit deep, but he managed to keep his car under control. Meanwhile, up in front, Miro Konopka is steadily navigating this race. And in the GT3 class, it's his son Adam with a healthy 12-second lead over Antal Gigo. Denis Vajek is leading the GTC class regarding the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, whereas Tomasz Miniberger is in first position in the GTX class with his KTM prepared by RTR Projects. Talking about KTM, here goes Mraz to the inside of Darmetko, getting through once more. And now Darmetko needs Mraz to go and overtake Breka as well, otherwise he won't be able to attack the Czech driver in the final 5 minutes and 17 seconds of this race. The pole winning race 1 of the ESETCup here at the Slovakia Ring. Now in second, just a few tenths away from the lead. But to be honest, Breka has looked fantastic today up there. Able to keep his cool under pressure. Staying in first place. As we now see the Karin Motorsport car of Mraz trying to make a move over Breka, but the Porsche still fighting, still trying to not lose time, not just to Mraz but of course to Darmetko, which is Breka's main rival. Here we go towards turn number 13. If Mraz has timed this correctly, he will be able to get a move done towards turn number 1. Let's see how his cornering exit is. Looks to be quite solid from here as he gets the slipstream from the car in front, as the two of them go roaring towards turn number 1. Hard under braking goes Mraz, and up into 8th position in the overall standings goes the KTM. So the fight is now on between Breka and Armetko. The latter not being able to make a move on Breka thanks to the KTM being around, but of course he now has the chance to put Breka under pressure himself with only 3 minutes left on the clock. Race leader Miro Konopka now starting the penultimate lap of the race. The LMP3 Ligier being definitely one of the best cars around. A car used, of course, in Endurance European Series and also overseas in the US. But most importantly, you can find them, for example, in the European Le Mans Series. As now Armetko looks to the inside into turn 11, not being able to make a move, but still very close to the other Porsche. And so you can see Miro Konopka in his LMP3 class car. The team having a long-lasting relationship with Ligier, especially in 2016, 2017, before using the P2 Ligier in championships around the world, and now using the LMP3 car to dominate the ESETCup in the D5 class as Konopka goes around turn 13 for the penultimate time. Now starting lap number 13. With the BMW M4 following in third position. They try to keep up with Adam Konopka, but unfortunately not being able to do so today. Lamborghini proving to be the better car, despite Antal Gigo's best efforts. The BMW now flashing the other M4, which is the GT4 car. We haven't talked much about the GT4 class, but we just saw the BMW of Rudolf Benio, who's in the lead, a lap ahead of the GT4 Mercedes with Andrei Makarovic, as we now go once more for the final time with the Ligier LMP3 car of Miro Konopka through the final lap of the race. Now going up the hill and back down towards turn number 10 before immediately putting the car to the right hand side for turn 11, keeping it flat out for turn 12, going up the major hill one last time this weekend, starting to weave to salute the fans who have come in hundreds this weekend at the Slovakia Ring. It's been a weekend to remember for home favorite Miro Konopka, as ARC Bratislava will come across the finish line to win the ESETCup Race 2 at the Slovakia Ring. It's 2 for 2 for Miro Konopka and the Ligier LMP3 piloted by the Slovakian driver. They win Race 1 and then they are triumphant in Race 2 as well. And it's double success for ARC Bratislava, as the GT3 category will be won by Miro's son Adam Konopka in his Lamborghini Huracan GT3, now crossing the line to finish in what is an impeccable P2. 2 class wins for Adam Konopka this weekend in the ESETCup, and just in front of Antal Gigo, the BMW M4, just narrowly missing out on the win in the GT3 class, but still getting home with a 2nd place and of course a 3rd place in the overall standings. Denis Vajek is ready to come across the line to finish in 4th and winning the GTC category with his Lamborghini Super Trofeo, just ahead of the Praga of Tlusty. But before him, it's Tomasz Miniberger winning the GTX class here in race number 2. It's double success for RTR Project, winning race 1 and then doing the double this afternoon. It's been a fantastic weekend for the father and son duo of Miro and Adam Konopka. Absolutely sensational from the Ligier driver, former World Endurance Championship competitor, as he led from start to finish, apart from a slight hiccup on lap 1, as you can see here with the highlights, with a beautiful overtake from the Lamborghini of Adam Konopka. It's been a fantastic weekend of racing here at the Slovakia Ring, as the ESETCup is ready to go on a 2-week vacation before being back in Schkipau at the Lausitz Ring on the 29th of June. It's been absolutely amazing to be with you for this weekend, and we'll see you then for round 4 of the season.